Well, do you have any final thoughts? I want to go on to the next thing. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's go on to the next thing.
Because we're gonna. It is a home related comment, and this has to do with policy change. And so, there are a couple of different bills in front of Congress right now that have to do with housing. And surprise, surprise, not surprised at all. It's things we've already talked about, things that we were saying to each other and to our audience, like, hey, these things would help builders. It would incentivize them. It would create more inventory. It would help with pricing. And so guess what? All the same things we're feeling on the real estate and mortgage side of the world are making their way through, I'll say, the halls of Congress. Yeah. And it seems, at least with this from Housing Wire, that both sides are in agreement. What? Both sides are in agreement that we need these. So there's two bills right now that are aimed at boosting housing supply and improving prices. And guess what one of the solutions was, guys? Tax credits for developers. Ding, ding, ding. Sound familiar? So we had talked about this before as a way to incent builders to build by giving them some sort of land grants, some sort of tax incentive, other bond measures that will help them, not necessarily because they, I'm going to say, need it, but if we need housing more than they need to build it, we have to kind of coax them into doing it, right?
Gotcha.
So I'm not necessarily mad about that. I think it's going to be a positive thing if we can bring more inventory online. And so one of the things is called the Neighborhood Homes Investment Act, and this is to create new jobs and stimulate the economy in the areas in which all these things are, these homes are built. One of the bills is called the Housing Supply Frameworks Act, which is helping create better best practices for zoning and land use, which is ding, 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 the other thing we talked about, which is freeing up land that may not currently be zoned to build on to actually build some of these homes. So,
well, here in Otay Ranch, I know we talked a couple of weeks ago, but we got the Baldwin brothers coming in here and develop. What was that? 1,400 acres?
Like 13. I think it's 1,300, 1,400 acres, something like that.
Yeah. They're going to build 2,750 homes, and a lot of that area was preserved. And so now it seems like that we're moving out of that to make sure that we could accommodate, the volume of people that are coming into our area here in Chula Vista.
Yeah, I think you could take that information and just be positive about the fact that there's deals going on that they're going to be able to build more. They're going to be able to make land accessible so that these builders could get in there, bring more inventory, because we know that's one of the biggest problems right now: affordability, inventory, and it just causes a huge bottleneck.
And I think that's a great thing that they're actually considering doing that, incentivizing these developers. That's just going to keep home prices leveled where it becomes a lot more affordable for people. Yeah. I used to love the idea that my property value was kept going up, but then I started realizing that, if I sell it, I'm going to just get into a higher debt. Even if I put all the proceeds into a property, I'm going to want more or less a similar property, to accommodate, our family. My payment's higher, so, and then because my property taxes will be higher. So it's like, well, sometimes it's like, maybe we should have just slowed it down. I love that I'm getting equity, but sometimes having that it just goes so high so quickly, it's kind of like, it almost feels like a catch-22, to be honest.
I understand that, and I think that I think that in general, even though we feel those things maybe on the personal or localized kind of like neighborhood level, I think in general this is like a sample set of like the larger conversation that I think that maybe these policy decisions can help drive and fix, or at least fix. Maybe it's not the right word, but we need inventory. We need the inventory, so it has to come on board somehow. And if it's not going to come on board with the open market just being the open market, like, okay, we have capitalism. We have capitalism. All right, so if capitalism isn't delivering a solution, what do we need to have happen so that a solution can be delivered? And this little example we had, it took how many years? Like 3 years before they finally were like, we're in agreement. And then they're like, the first shovel will go in like 3 years. And then the first house will be in like 5, and they'll develop for the next 3. So we're not even going to see a home for another 5 or 8 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So even these like policies like now, let's say they are enacted in 2025. Cool. Maybe there's some solutions by 2028 or 29 or 30.
Yeah. Hang on, help is on the way.
Now, I will also say that I am optimistic that this will. I don't know what stage it's at the time that we're recording this. I just know it's happening. I don't know what stage we are in the process of this, but I am confident that because there was an executive order with the new administration that specifically cited the reduction of housing costs for Americans and to unclog the inventory issue, I think that this does have a pretty good chance, as long as it doesn't have like all this garbage tucked inside it, this does have a good chance to actually make its way through and then maybe create some incentives.
Nice.
And what doesn't have garbage? We'll see.
Okay, I'm trying to be optimistic. Now you're taking my position now. You're like,
no, it's just, because you see it here. The bill has 118 co-sponsors, evenly split between 59 Democrats and Republicans each.
Yeah.
So there it is. Where's the trash?
Well,
if there was none, I'm sure that that wouldn't be even.
There's probably some, but I think that it is it would be a futile effort to try to pack a bunch of garbage in, because if you do that and you know that it could just be killed with the strike of a pen and be vetoed, then you just wasted all that time and effort, and then now you set yourself back from actually achieving the thing that you were tasked with doing on day one of the executive order. So there's. I know I'm kind of talking in like theory here, like these people are as smart as we hope that they are, and some of them are and some of them aren't. Not to name names, but it would be a act in futility to do anything that would cause this to be stopped.
Got it.
That's my point. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
enough of this.
You think Doja's going to go in there and just shut it down?
No. But no. Remember, I'm saying this because remember the housing agencies were tasked like, hey, you all need to fix these problems. We need inventory. We need housing prices. Our affordability is terrible. They were charged with this. Yeah. Now it's going to be up to these politicians to come up with solutions. We have two on the table, is what I'm saying, and it would work against them to be using and spending all this time to not actually cross the finish line with a solution.
Totally
having
understand.
been talks with it. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. I don't like talking about policy more than we've already talked about it.